Hello and welcome back. We'd have better stop the EM2 there, otherwise we'll probably have some sort of accident. So I'm just going to put it back in the station with the blue and grey coaches now. We had this lot out on last week's video, and we've got the Western sitting on the line facing the other direction there, and then you can hear we've got the lemur crab. Let me see if we can catch up with it with those bright red and yellow, or yellow and cream coaches. There she is, just hiding behind the elevated section, rolling away quite nice and peacefully. If peacefully is the right word, perhaps. She's quite smooth. She has improved a little since fiddling with the back-to-back, although I still can't get the tender tightened up any. It's they're too wide, if anything. Anyway, let's get some points changed now. Last couple of videos, I don't know whether you noticed in the corner shot, I've got all of the lever frames in situation, but also the controllers I've changed. I've made a slight change from the clippers I've been using to these Hornby control center items. And we've got a couple of different controllers, three I think here. So we've got the R910, which I think is a 2¼ amp controller, and then we've got the R920, which is a circuit controller, so that takes its power from there. It's just a slave. And then we have the R905, which I think is just a 1½ amp controller, which is running the lemur crab as we see it at the moment, so we'll give that a little more power. And we'll take a little bit off. And the crab does like running on the half wave. If you listen when I press that, she definitely speeds up a little when we put it back onto full wave instead of half wave. And then we've got this R910, which is the same as this one down here. Sorry, I'm pointing out a shot. And this one will control the Western. If we just have a look at that, that's sitting in front of the EM2. If I take I can't remember which way I've got it set. Let's have a look. There we go. There's the Western going forward, and then we've got the Western going backwards. And let's see if we can make the EM2 go backwards. There we go, that noisy motor. And we'll just take her forwards a little closer to the point work. There we go. So possibly a little bit step backwards in technology from the H&M controllers I had, but really what swung it, I think, was this sort of signal cabin effect we've got on the top here. I've got all the points sort of wired up, so let's throw a few and get this EM2 back into the station. So we need number 1B, which is that one. And I think, let's just have a look and see if we're set. So we're going to run through here. Actually, we want 4B as well. So we'll come back and get 4B. And hear that click away in the distance. And let's see if we can drive her into the station. There she goes. I think she's all the way in there. So we'll just close 4B, I think. And we'll close 1B. And then we should have the Western ready to go. So let's give her a little power. Obviously in the wrong direction. She's quite lively. She doesn't quite prefer the half wave. She's a little bit lethargic. She does prefer it on the full wave. Nice bit of power going through there. She always stutters a little bit on that diamond. And we'll just run her around the back of the station here. A little bit more power down the straight. And we'll just bring her to a stop there. And I think we're gonna stop the lemur crab as well. So let's bring this around. We'll have just a little bit more power. Turn that the wrong way then. Let's see if we can pop her back in the sidings. Just draw past the points there. There we go. Now let's just have a quick check which points we're after here. So if we look down here, we're after number 3 yellow there. I've got my brand new layout diagram here, so we can see it's this one here. The colours of the tracks bear no resemblance to the point work. So the blue is the inside line, the red is the outside line, and the green is the up and over. So I'm after number 3 there. So we'll just give that one a go in the background, and then we want to make the lemur go backwards. So we want, instead of normal, we go reverse. Of course it depends which way around you've got the model on the rails. So let's see if all that translates into this locomotive and coaches going into the station. Let's hold the camera up there and see what we've got. A little bit hesitant, but there she goes. Into the siding. I'm so tempted to put another platform in there. I'm not, probably got too many platforms already on the layout. Let's just close those points while we're at it. So on the face of it, not a lot's changed on the layout this week, but over the last couple of videos I haven't really looked in this area, so most of the wiring has been tidied up. So I did mention that I'd get it all plumbed in through the baseboards. So we've got this sort of quite nice sort of cable tidy feature here on these old Hornby controllers from the 70s. I believe these came along sometime in the late 72, 73. They showed up in the catalogue, I think in 73. We'll have a look in a moment. So we've got this really important feature. Must have been a selling point at the time, I think, just having a lamp to tell you the things in operation. I think when the auto cutout comes in and it shorts out, the lamp will go out. But if we have a look underneath the baseboard, you notice all of this sort of spaghetti has now vanished largely, and we have some sort of order going on under here now. So it's not finished. There's still going to be a little bit to do. I don't think we'll ever be calling this finished. We'll probably just think that's enough and then change to a different sort of railway. And these are some switches relating to the station, but we've still got a couple of those to go in. I just haven't got the correct switches to go in there for those yet. That'll just help with the isolation in the station. So just having another quick look over these controllers. You can see that the circuit controller is a different colour from the rest. So I think that's quite a neat touch. So this one doesn't take its power from the mains, so the other 3 have a cable directly into the mains. And we've got this lovely little flap here. You could have a little card in here with a diagram of your railway, but I've opted not to do that at present, mainly because I can't work out how to make the diagram small enough to make any sense whatsoever. You can see the lever frames will just push into these here, so if you don't have lever frames on the top, you've got this nice smooth effect there. So I think they're fairly smart. Must have looked pretty good back in the early 70s, I imagine, and that's just bringing in the return cable for the point motors there. And the green switches, I think we've already pointed out, are isolating switches, so that's an isolating switch there for platform 1, which is all the way over here. Let's have a quick look. That's what's turning out to be platform 6. And we've got platform 1 over here, and we've got the little Great Western train here. We've got some clear-story coaches and the little 060 tank, pannier tank there. And we've got platform 1 there. So let's see if we can get the Western back into the station. So that's going to involve a number of point changes, I think. So let's have a swift look at the diagram. So I think we're going to want 8, and I can't remember which way round these run at the moment, so we will have to have a look. I know this one is closed, so we're going to run straight through there. So we'll start with 8, and then we'll have a quick glance across the layout, because it's this one in the mouth of the station. I'm fairly sure 1 is the right direction and 2, but I can't remember which way 3 is, so I don't want to run into the front of the EM2. So we'll just have a quick move across here. Yeah, so it's number 3. I've got to change the other 2 set correctly, so we'll just switch number 3, or 3 orange, or orange number 3. They just turned out like that. In this artificial light, they don't look very orange, do they? They look very close to the red. In daylight, they look considerably more orange. So number 3. Let's get that. So just swap hands with the camera, and we'll see if we can pull that Western into the station. So a little power. Calm it down a little. I think we've got a little bit of a derailment here going on. Oh no, look at that. I know why as well, because I've switched the wrong points. When I've gone to close number 3 here, I've closed number 2, or opened number 2. So that's derailed my train completely. So let's see if we can encourage some of these back onto the rails. So most inconvenient part to do this, isn't it? Underneath the wire. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to pull this off with one hand, but we'll have a look. That sounds convincing. That sounds convincing. Not sure about that bogey on the on there. I think we might be on there. We might have that. We've got that, and then we've still got those points in the wrong direction. Let's pull this through here. We'll get that one. So I do apologise about the break in service here. Right, now we need to rectify that. So we'll put number 3 back where it goes. That's set for the main line, and we'll close that crossover. And he confidently goes back for the controller. So let's see. Let's see if we can get this lot back into the station. Pick up the right controller is going to help. That's better. And there we go, no head-on crash into the front of the EM2. And we'll just bring her along the platform. And a nice gentle stop there, I think. We'll just have a swift look in the 73 catalogue, where these controllers first showed up. It's a rather impressive picture there with a young chap with his bank of controllers, rather like we've got on the layout there. And here it's introducing the new power control centre, and it goes on to list the various benefits of this new range of controllers. I'm not going to read this out word for word, but you can sort of freeze frame the video if you'd like to read that through. But let's just have a quick look at them here. So here we have the 905, or in brackets here it's got RP905. So I believe in 72 these models were made briefly, and they were prefixed with the RP number. I think prior to that, controllers weren't really included in the catalogue. I think right back into the Triang days, they always seemed to be absent from the catalogue. I believe it's something to do with the way they were taxed, as opposed to the toys in the rest of the catalogue. But so we've got the 905 here. So this is the 1.5 amp controller, and then we've got the 910, which is the 2.25 amp controller. So I've got one of these and two of these. And I've got one circuit controller, the 920 also was available with the RP prefix. So that's just the circuit controller and shouldn't be connected directly to the mains as it points out here. Now I'm using my circuit controller for the turntable, and I've got the pair of 910s both working on the outside line, one running the overhead and one running the track for the locomotives that don't need the overhead. So I thought that was a good use for that, and I think that was probably just a selling feature of the lamp. It really doesn't help out at all, although it is supposed to cut out when you have a short, I think. But fairly impressive looking things. I think they would have looked quite smart. I think as we were saying earlier, so that they ran from about 72 to 75, and when we just have a quick look in the 76 catalogue, let's just pop that one down there. We seem to have a slight change on the controllers. They've changed in colour, and they've got slightly different numbers. We've got an R900 power controller, which is just the 2¼ amp variant, and then we've got the R902, which is the circuit controller. They've dropped the 1½ amp controller. Probably they didn't really need it in the range, but I think possibly these are pretty much the same thing as the earlier controllers, but just updated in colour slightly. So we'll just pop that to one side. This illustration here, we must look at that. That is terrific, isn't it? Got one of those great sort of signals. I always thought they looked too big for the railway. Those I do have a couple. Perhaps we should have those on the railway. Let's close that one also and have a quick look over the box here. I don't know whether this cable keeps dangling into shot. It's my microphone. So here we've got the box for the 905. It tells us what we've got in the box here, the 1½ amp power controller. Great picture, and then we've got it banked there with a circuit controller. Let's just pull out those instructions for a second. So there's not a great deal within the box. A couple of very weedy cables there, which were attached when it came to me. I think they feel very, very brittle. So we'll leave those in there. We'll just have a quick look at the info on the side of the box there. I think it's quite heavyweight cardboard. There seems to have been plenty of sellotape on all of these boxes over the years. They've got that lovely brand name, Hornby Power Units Control Centre. They would look great standing on the shelves in the toy shop, wouldn't they? So we'll just pop that down, and we've got the leaflet. Now the leaflet goes on to cover all 3 units, which I think is quite nice. This one's dated 3rd of the 1st, 73. And we can just see 905, I think there. I'm just holding that out of shot. So it's got all the info about the units and how the slave just plugs into the side there. We've got those 2 little pins. If I've got a picture of that on my controllers, I'll put it in the corner of the screen now. But I think I may have taken a photograph of that as they were going together. If I haven't, I apologise. And then we've got more information on the back here. They've got rubber feet. One of mine didn't have its feet, so I've improvised there. And I've got mine bolted down to the baseboard rather than screws, which makes them nice and secure. We've got this tiny little light bulb here, which I'm not sure is a great idea. And this looks quite interesting, where they're stacked on top of each other as well. And then we've got that lovely little arrangement with the cable tidy at the back. Quite a neat little idea that, but quite nice to have the paperwork. And then we've got the box for the 910, very, very similar sort of thing. These are just paper labels stuck on the cardboard boxes. You can see it's suffered slightly over the years, and I think we've got the same deal in there. There's one of those cards where you could draw your layout diagram on there. Another couple of pieces of quite weedy looking cable. Again, I think I'm just knocking into the camera there, and there's the info for the unit there. So quite impressive looking boxes. I think I already said that. And there's the 920, the circuit controller. Lots of tape being applied to that one. Again, that lovely, made in Great Britain by Rovex Limited. So I don't think there's anything on the bottom of these. So we just lost the instructions. So we'll just pop that one down. And again, I think it's an identical sheet really. Only this one's got a different date on it, 21st of the 12th, 72, and that's got 920 on it there, and you can't quite read the rubber stamp. Looks a bit blurred there on the edge of the stamp, It's always nice to have these little bits of paperwork. Just a quick look underneath the baseboard again. You can see where I've got the controllers bolted through the board here. So if we have a quick look round on the top side now, we can see that the little bolts go through there, and there's one in between each one, so it keeps it all nice and secure. And there they are, fairly safe. They're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to knock them off by accident. And the bank of switches is fairly good as well, because they can be quite troublesome if they're not held down securely. So I think we've got the Western in the station over there. Let's see if we've got the point work closed. So I think we'll deal with that over there, and I think we'll get this little GWR pannier tank out and bring it around from platform 1 around the railway to platform 6. So we need to set point 1 for straight there, and I think we're good over here. Sorry for the wandering round, so we're still trying to remember it. And then we need 1B over here, so let's get 1B. And we want to come straight through here. We need to change 5B. There we go. I'm just going to isolate the Western in the platform there, so we don't get her moving accidentally. We might as well do the so we can isolate everything standing in the station there. So let's give this a little power and see if she's going to run. So let's have a look. Let's get her in frame. See if we're going to go the correct direction. And we've got absolutely no power there whatsoever. Let's just have a look there again. And I forgot to do points number 1 over there. So we'll do those. Let's hold this up. There we go. And now we'll give that some power. Straight into the buffers. Look at that. Amazing, there's no derailment there. Sorry, I should have had the camera wider. You could have seen that crash into the buffers. I don't think we'll repeat it though. So this time, sensibly, let's go forward. I'm just going to stop her there while I swap hands on the controller and turn around, and then we'll continue to follow her around. Those old clear story coaches doing quite well. They've got quite deep flanges. They're a little bit bouncy, perhaps carrying a little bit too much speed at the moment. So I'm just turning the controller the wrong way there. And there she is, just about up to the buffer stop there. So I think that was fairly successful. So I think if we close that off, so we'll close 1B, and let's see if we can get something out from the turntable just before we go. So we want to open 1R. So we'll get those. I don't know, I can't remember what we had running reasonably recently. Let's see if we can get the IVAT. I know I mistakenly called the crab an IVAT the other day. I think we need 2R as well. There we go. So let's see which direction she's going to run. So you watch the green IVAT. Wrong direction, obviously. And she's on half wave. I don't think she likes half wave very much, this particular model. So let's run her forwards now. And we'll come forwards of the next point 2R there. we'll just switch those. And then we should be able to take it back and pick up. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. We'll switch that again. So what we really want is this one here, 5R. There we go. This time. So I could widen the camera as well. We're a little bit tight at the moment, so we get a bit more action in there. So here we go. She definitely doesn't want to move. She's sitting partially on that point there. So let's give that another go. No. She crept forwards and I think she was going to go backwards. And let's give it another go this time. There we have it. And then we'll switch the direction. Out through the point work. And just out of interest, I'm going to stop her roughly where she was before and see if we can get her to move off. Yep, well, it happens. Dirty track, dirty wheels. And away she goes, and I think we'll just close number 1R while we're on the move. And we'll see if we can catch up with her. Go past the breakdown crane there. Nice steady freight speed. And under the bridge. Now I think that's probably it for today. Thanks again for watching. It really is hugely appreciated. And if you look back again next time, we'll have something else interesting from the range to look at. Goodbye now.